guys, welcome back. As promised in my last video, today we're going to do a dedicated video just using Natasha Denona's Bronze Cheek Face Glow palette. The look that I have on today, the eyeshadows, the cheek, the lips, was completely created using just this palette. I do have lip liner from Goss's luxury lip collection, but other than that, all the color that you see here is just a combination of all the products from this palette. So if you like this look, stick around. I will also have timestamps below that you can skip through to the demo. Natasha Denona released a bronze collection for the summer. There was the bronze palette, which I featured my last video on, and then today we're just going to focus on this face palette. I do very much enjoy her face products, her glow system, and you guys who've been watching this channel or following, you know that I also have the Bloom palette and also Daria, her big 6-pan palette. And I figure for comparison, before we get into the demo, we can just take a look at the differences between the bronze face palette and the Bloom palette. The bronze palette, you get bronzy, coppery colors. The Bloom palette, much more pink and rosy. I would say of the two, they're both medium to deep skin tone friendly, but I think the Bloom palette is probably a step further in that direction. It looks beautiful on light to medium skin. It looks great on me during the fall winter time. I just need to be careful of how much of this cream blush that I apply because it is super pigmented. Let me just swatch that for you. That is this cream blush here. So in comparison to the bronze palette, the cream blush is a lot different. It's not as pigmented. It's meant to be really as a base for you to build these powder products on. So the two cream products here, like her other face palettes, has that plastic cover to prevent, not only from these powder from transferring up, but also to help kind of keep out, dust and all that stuff. You're gonna get some, dust and whatnot on it, depending on, the brush, if you use your finger, if you use a sponge to dip into it. But just having that there kind of helps things stay clean for a little bit longer. So there are actually two new formulas on the bronze palette. These are the cream products, Bounce Cream Glow and this Bounce Cream Blush. The difference between the Bounce formula and the cream formula that can be found on the Bloom palette and also the Love palette, which is also 4-pan like this, is I would say it feels a lot thicker than the Bounce formula. And this is the Glow Cream Base on Bloom. The Bounce Cream Base on the bronze palette, this is the one. It just feels kind of lighter, more lightweight than the cream versions. The way it sits on the skin, I can't really tell the difference. Thinking back to when I did use the Bloom palette, it doesn't look much different, but it feels more lightweight. So on my hand from the Bloom palette, we have the Glow Cream Base, and then we have the Cream Blush, Duo Glow, this is the powdered product, and then the Glow Extreme, also powdered product. The bronze cheek palette, let's do some swatches right below. Now when I look at the bronze palette and getting ready for the swatches next to the Bloom palette, I realize that the powder products are also, they seem to be new formulas because the powder products on the bronze palette have the name designation of Super Glow Bronze, and then this is Super Glow Nude, whereas on the Bloom palette, it's Glow Extreme versus Duo Glow. So I'm gonna look further into it just to confirm, and whatever I find, I'll just share that below. Okay, let's go ahead with that swatch from the bronze palette. This is Bounce Cream Glow, Bounce Cream Blush, Super Glow Nude, and Super Glow Bronze, which is the most pigmented of the four. All right, let's head on to the demo. I'll see you guys after. I'm gonna start with this Bounce Cream Glow, and I'm putting that all over the lid with a pinky. And I'm gonna work this color all the way up to the brow bone. And this is really serving as the base for all the other products we're gonna add from this palette. You can use a sponge if you'd like. You could use a brush that works for liquid or cream type products. Then we're adding Bounce Cream Blush, and I am using this brush here that's also good for, or can be used for, cream products. And I'm just adding some more color to the middle of the lid to deepen it. Then I'm applying Super Glow Bronze to the outer corners and just adding this color towards the center of the lid. And depending on how it looks, because this is my first time trying it, I might just use it to deepen up and add it into the crease. And then going in again with my pinky, this time we're gonna dip it into Super Glow Nude. And I'm just going to apply that right here because we've got that cream product from before. I'm kind of just setting it. I think the product sits pretty well in place anyway, but adding that powder is just going to set it a bit better, and you don't really have to think about it throughout the day. And now I'm going to go in with a jumbo blender. This is Sonia G Sky Eye Set, and I'm going to buff this out a little bit to soften it up and bring it out towards the outer corner or outer V. I'm going to add foundation, concealer, all of that, and then we'll come back for the cheeks where I apply these products. I'm going to use a dampened sponge and apply the Bounce Cream Glow onto the high points of the cheek, but also just around here, the apples of the cheek. Unlike with previous, or unlike with Bloom palettes, cream base, I'm actually not going to cover that much area because you'll see in a sec why I decided to limit. So there's not much. You know, it doesn't seem like I've done a lot, but once all the other products began to sit on top of it, you'll see it pretty much adds like a pink sheen that is kind of combo white and pink. And it doesn't really give you, I wouldn't say it gives you a white cast, but it does lighten up or make that area reflect a lot of pink that has a hint of white to it. So I want my look to be fairly bronzy, fairly coppery, and I don't want that much pink or white in it. So I'm just gonna use it as a base. I'm not gonna go in anymore. I was just gonna dab it in some more, but nope, I'm not gonna do that. And then after that, we're actually gonna add the Bounce Cream Blush using a different part of the sponge. That I'm going to apply to a bigger area. So since this is the blush, It's going to give you some pigment to it. And I'm going to go all the way into the hollows because I really want that to be highlighted for this look. And I think people have found it to work well placing it into the hollows. I actually have a new brush here. It's from Koyudo, also made in a well-known area, Kumano, Japan. Because the surface here just fits really nicely, I'm gonna go in here. It's actually a hybrid brush. It's both natural hair and synthetic hair. I'm just gonna do that so I can get some definition out of this blush. And although I already have cream contour underneath, I'm just gonna try and see how that works, if the end result looks nice. Okay, let's set the face and then we will put on the powder products from the palette. And I'm not going to powder the cheek area. I'm going to try to avoid it because I want the powder products from the palette to build on that color. Taking the soft cheek, we're going to dip that into Super Glow Nude. And we're just adding that onto the apples. And you can see with the cream bases underneath, it just grabbed right onto the Glow Nude. Taking the soft cheek brush, also from Sonia G's Sky Face Set, we're gonna go into Super Glow Bronze. This is probably the most pigmented shade or product on the palette. So we need to make a decision here. Are we going to apply and just build on top on the apples of the cheek? Are we going to move it or move the product here and then blend? I think either way, it'll work and it'll still look beautiful. It just depends how much pigment or how bronzy you want to look. So I'm gonna go easy, just 2 dabs like this, get rid of the excess. And we're going to start here. And you can see already how much pigment. I am very bronzed. Get some eyeliner onto the upper lash line, and this is Hourglass's mechanical pencil in brown. And for final touches, we're going to add some Super Glow Nude on the brow bone. If you recall earlier, we added the Bounce Cream Glow on the brow bone as well. So in that same way, I'm sort of setting it, but I'm also just making it a little bit more bronzy. And so when I turn my face, you can see it's got that same kind of glow that's happening here, just with less pigment up on the brow bone. And then for under the eyes, we could leave everything like this. I think this looks really fresh and healthy and glowy. But if you wanted to do a little something extra, we can put some of the Super Glow Bronze also under the lash line. And I don't have anything under the lash line except for a little bit of mascara. So there's no eyeliner, nothing of that sort. And for lips today, we're gonna use Wayne Goss's Antique Rose Lip Liner, and we're gonna fill the lips. And then we're adding some Bounce Cream Glow. And then Super Glow Bronze. For a highlighter, we're going to do Super Glow Nude, just less pigmented. We're adding that on tip of the nose, some on the forehead. I don't think we need any more highlighter on the cheek. I think you would agree with me, those products are already on there. So let's do this. And a little bit, Cupid's bow. This is the finished look. I continue to really enjoy her face palettes because you can use the palette to create an entire look. I didn't have to use lip liner if I didn't want to. I could have used this cream base here and then applied the powder products on top. And if you enjoy bronze looks, coppery looks, you can get that all the time just with one palette. They're also easy to travel with, so if you're in a pinch or you just don't have that much space to pack, you can just take this with you. If you have the bloom palette, you could take the bloom palette with you for more rosy and pink looks. I do think this palette is also friendly for medium to deep skin tones. I mentioned that earlier. But when I think about how you can layer on the product to build up intensity, to build even more pigmentation, I think that's going to be one of the key things to do if you have deeper skin tones. My only, I guess, reservation about that is the Bounce Cream Glow. This might have a bit of a white cast if you have deeply rich skin tones. So that might be used sparingly, or as I did in my demo, I just used it on the high points and a little bit on the apples of the cheek just to use it as a base. I was more concerned, or I was more interested in adding pigmentation from the cream blush here and then these bottom products. And I think, as the name implies, it is really meant for as a base, but how much you put on could affect that end result. So to avoid having that kind of white come through too much, I would recommend using it sparingly. And if I wasn't making this video intentionally with just using the bronze face palette, I would have actually gone into the bronze eyeshadow palette to add a bit more dimension to the eye look. But otherwise, I think it's a great palette. I always have a lot of fun with her cheap products, and I'm happy I got to share this with you guys today. If you have this palette, share with me below what you think of it, and if you're waiting for these products to be available in your country, which a number of you have let me know that is the case. I hope you do get it very soon and that shipping is just a breeze. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time. Take care.